Hello students, welcome to the class. This is Himlata Soni. Today we are going to read chapter number 3, Eeswaran, the Storyteller, written by R.K. Lakshman. The chapter is from NCERT book Movements for class 9th. Before we read, just have a look on the theme of this chapter. The story revolves around the supernatural powers and existence of ghosts. Belief in these powers and existence affect the lives of people directly or indirectly. And here is an introduction to the characters. Ganesh, he is the one whom Mahendra tells the reason of leaving his last job. Mahendra, he is the junior supervisor in a firm. Eeswaran, Mahendra's cook and a storyteller in this chapter. Mahendra narrated this story to Ganesh to tell him why he left his last working place. So children, the storyteller is Eeswaran, but this incident is narrated by Mahendra to Ganesh, that what happened with him in last days. Mahendra was a junior supervisor who was sent to various construction sites like factories, bridges and dams. Because he was a supervisor, that's why he was moving from place to place. He had to move from a coal mining to a railway bridge, then to a chemical plant. He was a bachelor and used to odd conditions. Means he was used to live in harsh conditions. He could live in any circumstances. He could manage in an ill-equipped circuit house or a makeshift canvas tent. He had one asset, his cook, Eeswaran, and took him everywhere he was posted. So he did not have anything that was valuable for him, but his cook was precious to him, whom he took everywhere wherever he was posted. Eeswaran cooked food, washed away his clothes and chatted away with his master at night. So it means he was doing the work of a cook, a servant as well as a fellow for Mahendra. He could weave out endless stories and anecdotes on various subjects. He was capable to prepare tasty dishes within an hour, even in a desolate landscape with no shops. So whenever Mahendra was moving to such places where there was no facilities of markets and shops, at these places too, Eeswaran was cooking delicious food in no time. After Mahendra left the place to work, Eeswaran would do the household works. After bathing, praying and eating, he read Tamil thriller running to 100 pages. It means he was habitual to read the horror books that were written in Tamil language. He was so much influenced by these stories that he used his proper gestures, postures and expressions to describe any incident. So it was the influence of these stories that whenever he talked with his master, he used all his expressions to describe anything. For example, if he had to say that he saw an uprooted tree, what he said, just listen carefully.
The road was deserted and I was all alone. Suddenly I spotted something that looked like an enormous bushy beast lying sprawled across the road. I was half inclined to turn and go back, but as I came closer, I saw that it was a fallen tree, with its dry branches spread out.
So this was a style in which he described any incident. It was full of suspense and thrill. Mahendra liked his stories and never interrupted. Once he narrated the story of an elephant who escaped from a timber yard. Timber yard means a place where wood is kept, and destroyed everything on the way. The maddened elephant entered a school playground and messed up everything there. So he narrated the story of an elephant, that there was an elephant and he destroyed everything because he was mad. The teachers and students had to shut themselves up in the building. Eeswaran told Mahendra that he was a student in that school in the junior class. It means Eeswaran told Mahendra that this incident happened when he was a child and he was studying in a school. Eeswaran went to face the elephant and everyone was hypnotized to see that how a small child was fighting with the elephant. He attacked on the third toe nail of the elephant and he collapsed. In between, Ishwaran left the story and went to kitchen. It was his habit to leave the story in between because he liked when Mahendra curiously asked him what happened next. So this time too he had left the story in between, and when he came back from the kitchen, Mahendra asked what happened next. Then he told that the elephant was led away by its mahout to the jungle after 2 days of treatment. He told that he paralyzed the elephant by using Japanese art, karate or jiu-jitsu. He meant that he attacked the elephant by using martial arts. Mahendra never acquired a television because Ishwaran's chatting and stories were far better and entertaining than television. One day, Ishwaran prepared delicious dinner to feed the spirits according to tradition. So it was a tradition to feed the spirits and the ghosts so that they would not harm the human beings. So Ishwaran prepared delicious dinner for those spirits. Mahendra enjoyed the dinner and praised Ishwaran's cooking. Ishwaran started supernatural talkings and added that the factory area they had come to stay was a graveyard once. Graveyard, you know, where people are buried after their death. He said that skulls and bones were lying on the path in that area, and he saw ghost of a woman with a fetus in her arms on full moon night. The ghost of the woman carried a unborn baby in her arms. Mahendra shivered with fear and stopped him in between by saying that it must be his imagination, not ghost. And this was the first time when Mahendra interrupted in between because he was afraid of the ghost. That's why he stopped him, that it must be his imagination, not the reality. Ishwaran was behaving normally after that day, but Mahendra was disturbed at nights because somewhere it was fear inside him that maybe Ishwaran's talkings were truth. Previously, he loved to admire the full moon nights, but after hearing Ishwaran's story of a woman ghost with a fetus made him uneasy. Now he peered from his window to make sure that no one was there, because he was afraid and he thought that if Ishwaran's story would be the truth, then the ghost might harm him. One night, Mahendra heard a wailing sound. Wailing sound means crying sound, and thought that it could be a cat or some other wild animal. The sound became louder. So he looked out and saw a dark, cloudy form clutching a bundle. So he saw from the window that clouds were taking some shape, and now he was afraid that Ishwaran's story of woman ghost was the truth and it might be the ghost of the woman with the fetus. Mahendra was sweating and panting due to fear. Panting means breathing hardly, like he was afraid. But he convinced himself that it would be something else, not a ghost. And he tried to sleep, and after some time he slept. In the morning he woke up with ghost memory but took his bath and breakfast. Means he completed his routine work and he was just trying to forget the incident what happened with him at last night. Ishwaran greeted him and asked about the ghost Mahendra saw last night, and he told Mahendra that he also came into Mahendra's room when he heard the wailing sound, when he heard the moan. Ishwaran told Mahendra that whatever happened with him at last night, it was not the imagination, but the ghost was seen by Mahendra in real. Now Mahendra didn't listen to his last sentence completely, and he hurried away to his office to leave the haunted place the very next day. Means he was about to leave his job from that day. He was about to move. He was determined that he would not stay at such haunted place. So children, this was the story. Don't know whether it was his imagination or it was the reality, or it was the impact of the stories that were narrated by Ishwaran to Mahendra. So children, here are some question answers. I hope you would reply them, and if you are unable to reply, then go back and listen and watch the video again and try to answer the questions. Question number 1. Why did Mahendra move from place to place? Who was an asset to Mahendra? Why? What was the routine of Ishwaran? Why did Mahendra not require a television? Do you think that Mahendra did actually see a ghost?